What if the road to wealth wasn't exciting, but it was inevitable? Most men today are chasing speed. They want quick money, flashy results, and viral success. But if you ask John D. Rockefeller what builds real wealth, he wouldn't mention excitement. He'd talk about control, consistency, and cash flow. Now listen, if you're a man like Michael ... You're 32, you work hard, you love your family, you believe in God, and still, at night, you feel that quiet pressure in your chest. Is this it? I'm doing everything right? Why am I not further along? Brother, you're not broken. You're just missing a blueprint. Here's a hard truth. Most people don't get rich from great ideas. They get rich from solving boring problems with relentless discipline. Rockefeller didn't invent oil. He just learned how to refine it better than anyone else. He turned mud into money by thinking long-term in a short-sighted world. And that's what today's video is about. Not crypto, not e-commerce, not shiny trends. We're going back to the roots. Boring businesses that build generational wealth. If you build them with purpose, these are models where the average man, with strategy and focus, can create freedom and legacy without needing followers or fame. If you've ever said, I want financial peace without selling my soul ... then you need to hear what's coming next. Let's break this down the Rockefeller way. He who controls necessity controls the economy. That's not a quote from Rockefeller, but it could have been. John D. didn't chase luxury. He built wealth by mastering what everyone needs, but no one wants to think about: oil, transport, refining, banking, utilities, basic, constant, boring, essential. And here's the key. These industries are always in demand, crisis or no crisis, because they don't rely on trends. They rely on necessity. Rockefeller once said, I always tried to turn every disaster into an opportunity. That's what these boring businesses do. They solve problems that never disappear. Let's look at the principle that built empires. Start with what people must have. Build it with discipline. Make it more reliable than your competition. Scale slowly with full control. That's what he did with oil. He didn't drill, he refined. He organized the chaos of a new industry and made it predictable, profitable, scalable. And he didn't rush. He started small, one refinery, then two, then networks, then railroads to control distribution. Eventually, he controlled 90% of oil flow in America. Now, I'm not saying you can do that with laundromats or ATM machines. But I'm saying the thinking still applies. Start small. Focus on what the market already wants. Build systems, not hustle. Stay invisible if you must, but become inevitable. The rich don't waste time on hype. They multiply simple moves, repeated with precision. That's what this video will give you. 6 businesses, quiet, underestimated, but capable of producing $10,000 a month and beyond. Most importantly, they align with your values. You can do them with integrity, discipline, and purpose. And yes, some of these categories, waste management, transport, finance, were part of Rockefeller's original empire. Now let's dive in. Starting with a machine that prints money. Literally, ***, own the machine that gives people what they already want. Imagine walking into a nail salon. You don't see anything special, just women chatting, dryers spinning, soft music. But tucked in the corner is an ATM. That machine? It's making someone $500 a month, quietly. No staff, no inventory. Just money moving through space. That's what Paul Alex saw when he bought his first ATM for $2,100. Today, he runs a company, doing over $8 million a year in ATM placements. Rockefeller would have loved this. Why? because it's about distribution, not invention. He used railroads to move oil. You're using ATMs to move cash. Here's why this business works. It's location-based, like real estate without the maintenance. It generates predictable, recurring cash flow. Once set up, it's largely automated. But here's the key. Most people fail because they treat it like a get-rich-quick move. Rockefeller would remind you, the first machine is the test, not the trophy. Start where you have a local relationship. Don't drop $50,000 on 20 machines. Place one. Learn the rhythm. Master cash refill logistics. Understand repair cycles. Build your network with local stores. You're not just installing machines. You're learning to build a system that runs without you. That's what Rockefeller did. He knew oil wasn't the game, distribution was. Same here. The ATM is just a tool. What you're really building is leverage. And here's a bonus. Once you've got 5 to 10 machines working, banks and businesses start taking you seriously. You're no longer a side hustle. You're a player. That's how boring becomes powerful. Every family needs clean clothes. That's not going away. There's a reason laundromats have a 95% success rate. It's not just the machines, it's the mindset. When Rockefeller started building his empire, he didn't ask, "What's trendy?" He asked, "What do people need every day forever?" That's laundromats. Think about it. They serve a basic, constant human need. They run 7 days a week, rain or shine. They generate cash or card swipes while you sleep. Here's what most people get wrong. They think passive income means no effort. But in reality, it means front-loading. Systems so your effort has exponential return. Laundromats are perfect for that. But they still need regular maintenance, machines break. Clean environments, people won't return to dirty spaces. The right location, convenience is king. And yes, capital matters. Setting one up isn't always cheap. But here's the Rockefeller move. Start by studying a specific neighborhood. Learn what hours it operates, what competitors are lacking, what people complain about. Then optimize around that. That's how Domino's scaled. That's how Rockefeller scaled. That's how you will scale. And here's the quiet power in laundromats. You're building a business asset that also becomes a real estate play. Owning the building, that's next level leverage. That's Rockefeller thinking. So don't dismiss the spin cycle. It might just be your wealth cycle. ***. Rent the tools, own the builders. One of Rockefeller's greatest advantages wasn't that he owned oil, it's that he controlled the infrastructure around it. The pipes, the tanks, the transport. That's leverage. Today, that leverage exists in a business most people ignore. Equipment rentals. Let me paint the picture. A factory's air compressor breaks. They can't function. They're losing thousands per hour. You show up with a working unit on a trailer, and suddenly you're worth $500 a day. That's not magic. It's positioning. Here's why this business is a gold mine. You buy once, rent forever. It's tax efficient. You can depreciate the equipment while collecting income. It's recession resistant. Businesses still need to operate in every economy. And it works with anything. Diesel compressors, generators, pressure washers, lifts, trenchers. Now, does it take effort? Yes. Maintenance, logistics, transportation. But Rockefeller would call that the cost of control. Start smart. Buy one piece of high-demand equipment. Offer local delivery and fast setup. Build a Google My Business profile and run simple ads. You're not a rental company yet. You're solving urgent operational problems for real businesses. And as the U.S. reshuffles global manufacturing, demand for local equipment solutions is only going up. Rockefeller didn't chase what was glamorous. He chased what was essential and underserved. This is that Section 6. Example 4. VAC and service businesses, 350 words. Knowledge in your hands becomes wealth under your name. Rockefeller loved systems. He built Standard Oil into a machine by focusing on process over hype. Today, the modern equivalent is the service business, especially trades like HVAC. And here's what makes it powerful. Low startup cost, no inventory, minimal equipment. High margins if you build trust and systems. Demand that never disappears. People always need heat, air, and repair. One of Rockefeller's greatest early moves? Hiring the best chemists to refine oil more efficiently. He didn't do it all himself, but he understood the systems deeply. That's your first step here. Go learn the trade. Whether it's vac, plumbing, electrical, or roofing, don't skip the skill. Take 6 months, shadow someone, go to trade school, learn the game from inside. Then, do what most don't. Brand your service. Use social media locally. Build operational systems, intake, scheduling, follow-up. You'd be shocked how many. Local businesses still use paper invoices and voicemail boxes. That's your edge. That's your Rockefeller moment. The trap? Starting too big. Wanting 10 crews before you've led one. Instead, go hyperlocal. Serve one zip code like a king. Build loyalty. Create referral gravity. That's how dominoes started. That's how HVAC empires grow. That's how you become a quiet monopoly in your town. Remember, the rich don't chase money. They build systems that attract it, and when done right, these service businesses can scale fast, sell high, or spin off other assets like subscription maintenance or home warranty programs. This isn't blue collar. It's blueprint collar. You're building freedom, one system at a time. When others break down, you show up and cash in. One of the wealthiest men in Rockefeller's hometown wasn't flashy. No college degree, no office tower. He ran a tow truck service, and he owned the highways around his city. Here's why this business works. It's high urgency. People don't think about it. They just call the first one that shows up. It's local monopoly potential, especially if you serve areas with little competition. It scales with trucks. Not fancy tech or staff, but the real beauty? It turns chaos into cash. Broken cars, dead batteries, stalled 18-wheelers. You're not just towing, you're rescuing. And that creates pricing power. Most people miss this because they see the truck and think hard work. Rockefeller would see it and think high margin response system. Start simple. One truck, one driver. Maybe that's you. Focus on one stretch of highway or one neighborhood. Build partnerships with insurance, police, and local mechanics. The key to dominance here. Speed and reliability. People don't remember your logo. They remember if you showed up when it mattered. And once you're consistent, expand. Add trucks. Build a 24/7 call line. Train others with your system. This is Rockefeller thinking. Own the supply when the demand is desperate. Not many people want to be in the towing game. That's exactly why it's a gold mine. Own what others throw away, and you'll never be poor. Rockefeller didn't just build wealth by adding value. He did it by seeing value where others saw nothing. Waste. Byproduct. Undesirables. That's exactly what the waste management business is. Patrick Dovigi, a former hockey player, turned a small Canadian trash company into GFL, now a $10 billion empire. How? He saw that trash isn't a problem. It's a permanent need. Here's what makes waste management a Rockefeller-grade business. Massive market. Every home and business generates waste. Contract-based revenue, predictable monthly cash flow. Recession-proof, even in crisis, trash piles up, but it's not just about garbage bags. The real opportunity lies in niche local gaps, underserved areas, inconsistent pickup schedules, specialized services, yard waste, bulk items, hazardous material. Start by studying your city. What do the current providers miss? Are there zip codes with no reliable pickups? Could you serve a single neighborhood better? That's how Rockefeller started. He didn't take on the country. He dominated Cleveland, block by block. And if you think it's too dirty, that's the point. There's no glamour, no Instagram bragging, just quiet contracts and reliable cash. This is how legacy begins. And eventually, if you scale it, trucks, staff, routes, you're not just running a business. You're running infrastructure. You become part of how your community functions. It's not just wealth. That's position. It's not the business that fails. It's the builder who skips the process. Rockefeller didn't guess his way into success. He built checklists before checkbooks, systems before scale. Here's your cash flow business checklist, Rockefeller style. 1. Start lean down. Buy the building before you've earned your first customer. Find the fastest path to test demand. 1 ATM, 1 tow truck. 1 rented. Generator. Rockefeller sold oil before he built a refinery. Why? To minimize risk and prove the model. 2. Control cash flow. Forget revenue for a second. Focus on cash in, cash out. What are your fixed costs? When do you collect payment? Can you operate at a profit from day one? He who controls cash wins long term. Rockefeller always reinvested wisely, not emotionally. 3. Own the systems. Do the hard work yourself at first. Clean the windows. Tow the car. Refill the ATM. Why? Because when you build the system, you later know what to automate. Most people outsource before they understand. Rockefeller knew every step in oil refining, then hired smarter people to run it at scale. 4. Focus locally. Think globally. Dominate 1 block, 1 town. Don't dream about 10 franchises until you've nailed 1 location. Even Domino's started with 1 college town in Michigan. Rockefeller focused on Cleveland before expanding west. Your empire begins at your doorstep. 5. Delay ego. Chase mastery. Your business doesn't need to look cool. It needs to print money, solve real problems, and run without you. That's the Rockefeller way. Silent power, quiet control, loud results. If you follow this checklist, you're not just building a business. You're building a machine that funds your purpose. Asterisk, asterisk, Rockefeller didn't have YouTube. You do. So what's your excuse? Brother, you don't need to be special. You just need to be structured. There are people right now, no degree, no fame, no followers, who are making $10,000 a month cleaning windows, refilling ATMs, renting compressors. Why? Because they chose discipline over drama. Rockefeller wasn't flashy. He was focused. He didn't talk about wealth. He designed it. Day by day. Now it's your turn. The businesses we've shown you today aren't about getting rich quick. They're about building real wealth, slowly and surely, without selling your soul. You say you want to be free? Start with 1 problem. Solve it better than anyone else. Then repeat, because here's the truth. You're not stuck. You're just uninformed. But now, you've got the blueprint. Don't envy the empire. Build the engine. Rockefeller, if he had a mic, subscribe now. Share this with a brother who's ready. And start moving, because your future family is counting on you. Consejos to Rockefeller. We're not here to make noise. We're here to build quiet power.